Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Ingomar United Methodist Church. If my face looks familiar, it's me. I'm the composer. My name is Benjamin Bugaile. I'm the director of music and worship here at Ingomar United Methodist Church with a lot of fabulous co-workers who are about this room. And today is going to be a recital of all art song, and there will be no intermission. Pieces will go back to back, kind of. I'll explain the format. So what's going to happen is I'm going to have one of these two lovely readers. We have David Gensel and Elizabeth Burns, and I give thanks for both of them. They're going to read the poem first so that you can experience the words on their own. I think it's important in these recitals that you hear the words spoken and not just sung, so that you can actually focus on what the words mean and what they mean to you. After they are read, then one of these lovely vocalists will sing my setting of it for you. We have Victoria D'Andrea, Franklin Mosley, and Adam Flad. We all went to school together, and they all said yes, and I'm very grateful that they are here today. And after they finish singing, I will explain a little bit about what's going on, all of the hidden nuance throughout these pieces of music. A few pieces of housekeeping. There are baskets in the back on either side of my colleague, Don McGann, back there. Yeah, he's like a flight attendant. That's perfect. Yeah, he's got the wings. Any offering, we're taking a free will offering to support the music ministry here and to support the musicians today that are helping to make this program possible. Next Sunday at 4 o'clock in this same space, it says on the back of your program that Eleanor Lee will be playing the cello. Not just Eleanor Lee anymore, folks. Alex Lee, who happens to be with us today, and his lovely wife Alice, will be joining her, as will I. So it's gone from one person to four persons, violin, cello, piano, and organ. So hold on to your hats. That'll be next Sunday. We hope to see you there. Without further ado, I think I will invite Adam forward, as well as David, to read the poem.
Children three that nestle near, eager-eyed and willing ear, please the simple tale to hear.
sunny sky, lingering onward dreamily in an evening in July. Children three that nestle near, eager eye and willing ear, pleased a simple tale to hear. Long has paled the sunny sky, echoes fade and memories die. Autumn frosts have slain July. Still she haunts me phantom-wise, Alice moving under skies, never seen by waking eyes. Children yet to tell, to hear, eager eye and willing ear, lovingly shall nestle near. In a wonderland they lie, dreaming as the days go by, dreaming as the days go by. Ever drifting down the stream, lingering in the golden gleam. Life, what is it but a dream?
Thank you so much, Adam. Before I talk a little bit about this piece of music, I'd like to say who it's dedicated to. And I've not dedicated every piece of music I've composed yet, but this one is dedicated to the memory of one of my favorite musical mentors of all time. His name was Matthew Boyce, and he passed away a year ago yesterday. He was an amazing father, grandfather, and just a stalwart in the community of Washington, Pennsylvania, and he touched the lives of many, many, many students, and was a private voice teacher of mine for a number of years, was the tenor soloist at the church I grew up in. And when I was composing this, I could hear both Adam's voice as well as Matt's voice kind of singing this in my ear. So I'm dedicating that to him. So what's interesting about this text, you've probably noticed it's by Lewis Carroll, who did Alice in Wonderland. It's probably know him for doing that best of all. It's all kind of based on his muse. In case you haven't noticed, Alice in Wonderland is a thing, right? We know about that. We know about the Disney movie. This is not from Alice's adventures. What this is actually like a little poem that kind of pays homage to his muse. In the 1800s, there was a little girl named Alice. Alice had this vivid imagination, and of course, as an artist, as a poet, Lewis Carroll had great admiration for her moxie, for her imagination. And as you notice, the poem goes on, children three that nestle near, this is her and her siblings, eager eye and willing ear, pleased a simple tale to hear. Long has paled that sunny sky, Echoes fade and memories die, autumn frosts have slain July. What he's talking about there, which is why we go to C sharp minor, is he's talking about Alice growing older and about that time in her life when she stopped being so imaginative. Still she haunts me phantom-wise, Alice moving under skies, never seen by waking eyes, is his way of saying, and she's gone, the little girl that I knew, that I loved. And I want to say, he traveled with the family, so there was nothing suspicious. I just want to say that as an aside. It's important. It was the 1800s, I don't know. Children yet the tale to hear, eager eye and willing ear, lovingly shall nestle near, is his way of saying that generations go on, time still passes, and there are still children that have vivid imaginations, and we need to encourage these things. In a wonderland they lie, dreaming as the days go by, dreaming as the summers die, ever drifting down the stream, lingering in the golden gleam. Life, what is it but a dream? Which came first, the chicken or the egg moment? For what is it but a dream? Life is but a dream, right? From Row, Row, Row Your Boat. That poem was written, that nursery rhyme was written 12 years prior to this piece of music. So I'm guessing it was very in vogue for him to kind of do a little quote of that. To explain a little bit what's going on musically, some things I've kind of snuck in. If you've been trying to tap your toe and you've had some trouble, that's on purpose. I've been trying to make the accompaniment water at any given time. That's why there's the 6/8 quality underneath of it. I accidentally kind of quoted the Jesu Bambino a few times, so forgive me for that one, vocal majors. Yeah. So, yeah, it is a great piece of music. That was an accident, though, quoting it. We go into C sharp minor for when frosts slay July. She haunts us phantom-wise. Oh, I remember now, the one thing I wanted to say to you all. Ever drifting down the stream, that line, when it goes to the voice. One of my favorite movies of all time is Tim Burton's Big Fish. And I don't want to ruin the movie for you, so I won't say too much, but like the idea is sort of that somebody tells these stories so much that they eventually become the stories. So my goal was to make the narrator become the story that they were telling to begin with. So that's kind of the musical code that's going on in there. I hope you enjoyed A Boat Beneath a Sunny Sky. And at this time, I invite my darling friend Franklin forward, and I invite Elizabeth Burns forward as well. This is like the sword and a stone up here getting this thing out. So this is the shortest piece on the program. I'm just giving you all that as a heads up right now. So this is the second piece of music I'd ever composed for piano and voice. The first ever setting I'd heard of this was by Emmylou Deemer, the choral setting of this. I think we did it with Chris Thomas, actually, in chorale. I think we did. I don't know. Anyway. So that was the first piece of music. That was the first time I'd ever heard this set, which I should say, and I gave this kind of preview last year. When I hear a piece of music, when I hear poetry sung, I think basically like one of three things. I think, that's really cool. I'd like to try that myself. That was a really great setting, in the case of Emma Lou Diemers. There are other settings where I go, that's too good, I'm never going to try it. Like the Cantique de Jean Racine. Gabriel Fauré can keep it. And then there are things like, the next piece of music, Lee Hoybe did a setting of Jabberwocky that made me angry. And so I said, no, I'm going to try. But that's another story for another time. We'll get to that later. This piece of music was written at a time in my life where I was doing some soul searching and what is Ben looking for the rest of his life in terms of romance. And so that's kind of what brought about this piece of music. That and a really, really long bike ride, if I can be honest with you all. That's where most of these come up, is whenever I'm not listening to music on really long bike rides. But this is last year, one of our vocalists was not able to sing. And so it got rid of a lot of the minor pieces that were supposed to be on the program. So this year, there are 3. So half of this program are technically minor sonorities is what you'll be hearing. And that was one of them. The next one you'll hear is Jabberwocky. So I'll invite Victoria forward to sing Jabberwocky. And I will invite Elizabeth Burns, who I think is really looking forward to reading Lewis Carroll's Jabberwocky.
It doesn't want to stay?
That should be good. I think we're clear.
Jabberwocky. 'Twas brillig and the slimy toes did guide and gimble in the way. All mimsy with borrowers and the moan rats outprayed. Beware the Jabberwock, my son, jaws that bite, the claws that catch. Beware the Jojo bird, and shun the fruitless banner snatch. He took his vorpal sword in hand, long time the manson foe besought. So rested he by the tum-tum tree, and stood awhile in thought. And as in uppish thought he stood, the Jabberwock with eyes like flame came whiffling through the tulgey wood, and burbled as it came. 1-2, 1-2, and through, the vorpal blade went snicker-snack. He left it dead, and with his head he went galumphing back. And hast thou slain the Jabberwock? Come to my arms, my beamish boy. Oh, frabjous day, callooh-callay! He chortled in his joy. 'Twas brillig, and the slimy toes did gyre and gimble in the wave. All mimsy were the borrowers, and the gnome rats outprayed.
'Twas brillig and the slimy toves did gyre and gimble in the wave. All mimsy were the borogoves, and the mome rats outgrabe. Beware, beware the Jabberwock, beware the Jabberwock, my son. Beware, beware the Jabberwock, the jaws that bite, the claws that catch. Beware the Jub-Jub bird, and shun the frumious Bandersnatch. He took his vorpal sword in hand. One time the manxome foe he sought. So rested he by the tum-tum tree, and stood a while in thought. 'Twas brillig and the slithy toves did gyre and gimble in the wabe. All mimsy were the borogoves and the mum rats outgrabe.
Thank you, Victoria. And I'm just going to take this opportunity to say this now before I forget it. Rehearsing for this with the three of you and with Liz Damp, who is here somewhere. Where are you, Liz? Yeah, there. You are Liz, who did this last year. It's really nice to hear all of your voices and just kind of be transported and say, wow, it really wasn't all a dream. That you all sound as wonderful as you always have. You are a blessing to me, and I love you all. So yeah. Jabberwocky, isn't this a vivid little piece of poetry? What year? 2010 Region Choir. I had the pleasure of getting to work with Renee Clausen. And if you haven't heard his choral setting of this piece of music, it's really cool. And I generally don't tell people to go and listen to choral music, but if I was going to, I would say go listen to Renee Clausen's Jabberwocky. It inspired me, and Lee Hoiby's inspired me the opposite direction. So we have this wonderful piece of poetry. When I had taken a look at it for the first time and wanted to set it to music, I heard these old world, fully diminished 7 sorts of harmonies, and I thought this could sound kind of fun if it had like a little bit of like a 20s, 30s harmonics kind of theme to it. When I'm doing a lot of composing, I consider the relationship between the piano and the voice a lot. I mean, composers should do that, right? But with Take Those Lips Away, I was kind of in my Roger Quilter era, because that's a thing that the youth are saying now, is that they're in their era. Apparently, I don't know. The youths, thank you, yes. Yes, precisely. So in this piece of music, I went back and forth for a long time. Is the piano going to be the beast? Is it going to be the Jabberwocky itself? Is it going to be support? So in Take, it's more support. But in this one, I wanted to kind of have the sense of the monster, of the Jabberwocky itself. And a few other like little illustrations I tried to go for was when we have the author's parental figure, I don't know what to call them, giving the warnings, beware, beware the Jabberwock, my son, beware the Jabberwock, the jaws that bite, the claws that catch, and then beware the Jub bird. I kind of deconstructed in like a triplet format, getting lost, going into the woods to fight the beast, and that was supposed to be illustrated by this little motif. So it just kind of felt like it was fading into some sort of obscurity. Then we have the battle stance. Taking the vorpal sword in hand, so rested he by the tum-trum tree. So we have like this moment of reprieve, right? I tried to go for kind of a Handelian little pass there. I don't know if you would agree with it. Okay, good. Franklin caught it. Franklin is our resident Handel expert, everybody. If you have any questions about George Frederick Handel, he's right here. And he'll be here all afternoon. Thank the Lord. And then, in case you couldn't tell, the Jabberwock with eyes of flame that was burbling. However, we gain our footing eventually by, the bass line goes to that lower second. But 1, 2, 1, 2. It's a little bit more harmonically stable until we go galumping back. And I'm going to admit to everybody right now that this little section was actually inspired by the music at Hotel Delfino and Super Mario Sunshine. Inspired by, not copied. Inspired by. And then, of course, whenever we reach the back half of this piece of music, we have the celebration in D major, and then the recapitulation 'Twas brillig in the slithy toves, and we bring it back dynamically so that we can the children can, be scared of this little nighttime tale. So that's Jabberwocky for you. It was inspired by things I liked and things I strongly disliked. The next piece of music I'll just speak about briefly because I feel like it's worth saying that there are no two pieces on this program that have similar material or similar inspiration. So A Boat Beneath the Sunny Sky is kind of an introduction to storytelling. Take O Take is kind of like an unrequited love sort of thing, a love in vain. And then we have Jabberwocky, which is kind of a scary story. The next piece of music takes us a different direction, and I'd like to invite Franklin forward to sing Carl Sandburg's Baby Toes. And, of course, David to read it. Yep, you've got it. I see.
Baby Toes by Carl Sandburg. There is a blue star, Janet, 15 years ride from us, if we ride 100 miles an hour. There is a white star, Janet, 40 years ride from us, if we ride 100 miles an hour. Shall we ride to the blue star or the white star?
There is a blue star, Janet, 15 years ride from us. If we ride 100 miles an hour, there is a white star, Janet, 40 years ride from us. If we ride 100 miles an hour, shall we ride to the blue star or the white star? Shall we ride? Shall we ride?
Thank you, Franklin. So, Carl Sandburg wrote this poem for his middle child. Right? Something, I generally try to avoid poems with names in them. And on this program, there are two that have human names in them, at least. This piece of music, Carl Sandburg's poetry, I just find to be very fascinating. Last year, a setting of Poppies was performed by my friend Michael Billick. He has this way of, it's very visceral, everything that he chooses. For those of you keeping harmonic score at home, I'm going to just do a quick little demonstration of what I was going for. And I also want to say that when this was composed in 2017, it was kind of the season of my life that I realized I wanted to be a father. I'm not all the way there yet, but I'd like to be someday. And that's what brought about this piece of music. So this is a lullaby, right? That's what's going on here. It's this father speaking to his daughter, and that is confirmed. That is officially the relationship here. There is a blue star, Janet, 15 years ride from us. This is kind of the outline. We're going to E flat major. And then we're back in B flat. E flat major is the blue star. When we're going to the white star, it's this. And now we're in D flat major. So that's the white star, okay? And then we get back to B flat. To the blue star, E flat major, or the white star, D flat major. One final climb, right as the child's falling asleep. Quietly as the child is falling asleep. And then the accompaniment is actually supposed to be representative of the child sinking into their sheets to fall asleep, but also that light feeling that you have whenever you're falling asleep at the same time. Contrary motion. And then putting the themes on top of each other. For a little bit of crunchiness, but it feels more like a hug. So that's Baby Toes for you. At this time, I invite forward David Gensel and Adam Flad for the next piece of poetry and piece of music.
Your hands lie open in the long, fresh grass. The finger points look through like rosy blooms. Your eyes smile peace. The pasture gleams and glooms. 'Neath billowing skies that scatter and amass. All round our nest, far as the eye can pass, are golden kingcup fields with silver edge, where the cow parsley skirts the hawthorn hedge. 'Tis visible silence, still as the hourglass. Deep in the sun-searched growths, the dragonfly hangs like a blue thread loosened from the sky. So this winged hour is drooped to us from above. Oh, clasp we to our hearts for deathless dower this close companioned inarticulate hour, when twofold silence was the song of love.
Lie open in the long, fresh grass. The finger points look through like rosy blooms. Your eyes smile peace. The pasture gleams and glooms 'neath billowing skies that scatter in the sun-searched groves. The dragonfly hangs like a blue thread loosened from the sky. So this winged hour is dropped to us from above. Oh, clasp we to our hearts for deathless dower. This close companion, inarticulate when twofold silence was the song of love.
I need to remember three things right now, the first of which is to thank Maximilian Erasmus. His name's actually Max Esmus. A lot of IUP alumni who were there at the same time as him, basically everybody here right now, knows him and loves him. I write all of this out, as I said last year, like a 15th century monk, and I send him scans, and he puts it into Finale. And I am very grateful to him because he makes all of this happen. And he made this happen. This was finished last Tuesday. This piece of music literally was just finished. And Adam, you pulled it together that quickly. Thank you very much. A Boat Beneath the Sunny Sky was also done in July. So there's some really, there are some fresh babies of pieces happening here today. That's what the youth say too, right? Babies. I'm trying to keep up. I'm 31. I can't keep up anymore. So a couple of things about this piece of music. The setting that most vocal majors know of this one is that of Rafe Vaughan Williams. No, trust me, I was laughing with you. Not Ralph. Rafe. Yeah. No. Oh, I knew you knew. Yeah. No, there's a long story there. I'll let Adam tell you later. So his setting is really quite lovely, and I had looked at this poetry for a while, and I thought, maybe I'll give this a go, and the time just kept not being right. And then one day I was thinking about my mother, who died 3 years ago in April, as I was contemplating setting this, and I went to print off the text for this with the printer that I always use that prints things out in white. And wouldn't you know, this time it came out in lavender. I did not touch the printer. I did not mess with the paper. Ingomar Preschool, you cannot hold me accountable. But it came out on a purple piece of paper, and I thought, okay, Mom, I'll give this a go. I'll take this as the sign from you that it's time for me to give this a go. And so that's what brought about this piece of music. I have a hard time with some of the word choice in this because I'm not a fan of all of this visual golden king cup fields with silver edge where cow parsley skirts the hawthorn hedge. I don't know. I'm not really into all of that, so I just tried to make it as visual as possible at that point. You probably picked up on the dragonfly hanging like a blue thread. Loosened from the sky, this is it falling. This is that winged hour dropped to us. And so on and so forth. Oh, clasp we to our hearts for deathless dower. I wanted it to sound a little bit bittersweet, but that ultimately everything was going to be okay in this silent expression of love, which I think is not celebrated enough in music and in the world as a whole. Tried to make the skies billow at this point. This is what I've been referring to within myself as my Ivor novella era. Not that everything is Ivor adjacent, but I've found myself really appreciating his music lately. If you've not heard of Ivor Novello, I would recommend that. He's like an English Gershwin. Before we have the last reader and last singer to their posts, I'm going to talk about this piece of music, this next piece, a little bit so that we can end on a piece of music instead of on me talking, because that doesn't sound nearly as fun. So, where chorals lie, in the classical music world, I think most people think of the Edward Elgar. It's a lovely, lovely setting of this text. I wanted to go a very different direction from this, because as you'll hear, the text is very obsessive. It's very bubbling. It wants something. There's this layer of desire to this text, and we don't really, it's probably an allegory for something dangerous to the reader. Like, it kind of sounds like it's got warnings about it. And again, I don't want to give away too terribly much about this. But I will tell you some things that you will hear at certain points, just to give you a quick sample. And I don't want you to focus on this too much. The reason that I have things read first is so that you have the words in your head, and then you hear the music, and then I can go back and you go, oh yeah, that is what that is. I really didn't know what to do with this at first, so I just went. And then there's a bass theme, and it's all of the waves kind of crashing into one another. This is the bell on the buoy, and then this is the wave underneath kind of moving it to show you that we are, in fact, in the ocean. I'll let you experience that as it happens. Yeah, this one's got a lot going on in it. There's a section, actually I was talking with my colleague Don about this, and this kind of has ended up being my accidental salute to a lot of French compositional styles. So you might hear a little bit of Faré, you might hear a little bit of Poulenc, you might hear a little bit of Vierne, because there's some kind of juxtaposition there. You'll hear some motifs that I intended, whenever like you're at the ocean, and like there's like a little wave rippling this way, and then a slightly bigger wave ripples over it, and they're kind of crossing over each other. I tried to illustrate that at a few points with the accompaniment. So that they start going in opposite directions, but then they ultimately succumb to one direction because the bigger wave wins. We have a moment whenever we're describing a sunset glow. You'll feel that, I hope. The morning sky, you'll hear at one point, kind of involves a whole step ascension there. And then we'll end up basically in the land where chorals lie. There is a moment in this piece where we hit the lowest A's on the piano, and that's to show that we have made it to this point of obsession, to this point in the sea. You can hear it for whatever it's worth, whatever it means to you, but it's allegorical, but I also like imagining this in a literal sense, that there's this person who just wants to go to the bottom of the sea at all costs, no matter what that means. I find it very eerie. So all that to say, this is the last piece on the program, and it's in C sharp minor, everybody. I want to thank you all so very much for being here again today. It's nice to see a mini family reunion here. It's nice to see some neighbors. It's nice to see some friends and coworkers, and it's been a pleasure to get to share this music with you and bits of myself. And I just want to I want to say thank you to our readers and to our singers one more time. Can we please give them a quick round of applause? It's so rewarding to have friends that are as talented, but more importantly, as lovely as you all, because that's what makes this music worth doing, is the connectivity that we've gotten to share. So thank you. And without further ado, I invite Elizabeth Burns forward to read Where Chorals Lie, and I invite Victoria forward to sing it.
Where Chorals Lie by Richard Garnett. The deeps have music soft and low. When winds awake the airy spry, it lures me on to go, and see the land where corals lie. The land where corals lie. By mountain mead, by lawn and rill, when night is deep and moon is high, that music seeks and finds me still, and tells me where the corals lie, and tells me where the corals lie. Yes, press my eyelids close, 'tis well. Yes, press my eyelids close, 'tis well. But far the rapid fancies fly to rolling worlds of wave and shell in all the lands where corals lie. Thy lips are like a sunset glow, thy smile is like a morning sky. Yet leave me, let me go, and see the land where corals lie. The land where corals lie.
Corals
Thank you so very much for being here, and don't forget, there are baskets in the back to help support our music ministry, the musicians that performed today, and don't forget to come back next week for Eleanor Lee, Alex Lee, Alicia Martelli, and myself in what is developing into a really wonderful afternoon. Thank you again so much. And my coworker Noah did this with the screens. That was not me. These are my friends.